Weather Words with Frank Ward is a production of The Reporter, Delaware County's leading newspaper. This episode of Weather Words with Frank Ward is sponsored by Klinger Power Sports on West Street in Walton, your one-stop shop for outdoor recreational vehicles. Klinger services all recreational vehicles it sells. Stop in today to see how Klingers can help you enjoy the great outdoors in comfort and in style.
Well, good day to you. Here it is, January 2nd. I hope you enjoyed yesterday. I mean, how many January 1st can you go out in a short sleeve shirt and have it be 50 degrees? And that was yesterday. Of course, the day before that was 49. Sort of unbelievable. But you'll see me look down a few times during this whole talk because summarizing the entire year, there's a bunch of statistics I'll have to pick up. Okay. Right now, the December summary, it was a very, very unusual month. I can tell you this, it was warm. Okay. Our highest was 63 degrees, and that was on the 16th. But 22 days of the entire month were above average temperatures, so that's a very strange month. Okay. Snow, I don't think I need to tell you that most of December looked like this. Green, not white. We only had 6.7 inches of snow. Normally it's 19.7. So were we way behind? Oh yeah. Okay. As far as the temperature, we were a half a degree above normal from where we were supposed to be. I'll allude to that a little bit later in the year summary because that did end 2021. And the other thing to understand, let's see if I can find it. We were 4.6 degrees above normal per day. Normally when we talk about weather things, a half an inch, 3/4 of an inch, or a half a degree, 3/4 of a degree, it's rather insignificant. When you get to 4.6 degrees above normal per day, that's a very significant factor as far as a very, very warm month. Okay, so we did. Now let's look at the whole entire year, because first we're going to look at snow. Normally I do my snowfall from the September of the year before to when it stops snowing, which sometimes around here can be well into May. We've had snow the 3rd and 4th week of May in years past. I don't want to see any more of that. But anyway, if I just tally up for what fell in 2021, we had 1.5 inches more than the new normal. And we'll talk about the new normal in just a minute too. Okay. The new normal is 93 inches. What happened back in the 1950s and before, believe it or not, the old average was 118 inches. When I did it in 2000, taking the 100 years back from 2000, it was 112. When I did the new normal, which was this, I chopped off 20 years from 1900 to 1919, or 1920, 20 years time, and chopped that off the old average and added in 2000 to 2020. When I did that, the snowfall average had dropped to 93. Okay, so this year for 2021 we were 1.5 inches over in snow. Even though we were a half an inch warmer in December, you know what? What's a half an inch? Or half a degree, believe me. Sorry about that. But a half a degree isn't even enough to change rain to snow during most of our snowstorms. In fact, we've had a lot of our heavy snowstorms when it's 35 degrees outside. So what's a half a degree? Not a lot. Okay. The big change has been over the entire 2021. It's the amount of precipitation we got in total. We are over the new average by 5 3/4 inches. Okay. Now, New York State still had Walton in the very old average of 44.6. The new average is just slightly under 50. And we add another 5 3/4 inches to that, and that's what we got this past year. That's a lot of precipitation. I don't think I need to tell you that every time you walked outside, it was damp, it was drizzly, it was gray, it was horrible. Okay, and it was. But not in the spring. Believe it or not, it was a beautiful spring. Not only did all the flowers and things bloom, and the bushes and the trees and the fruit trees and everything, but all the vegetable gardeners were so happy. Look at everything growing, it's gorgeous. All the farmers looked out in their fields and said, boy, look at all the good grass for hay. And all that excitement lasted till about the second week in June. Then the heavens opened up, and all we had from then until a couple days ago is cloudy, gray, rain, mist, fog. And the few days the sun came out, it felt tropical for the humidity, and nothing ever dried out. What happened to the vegetable gardens? Almost everything and everybody I talked to, it all rotted. What happened to the poor farmers? The fields were so unstable, you couldn't even get your machinery on to cut. I was lucky to get my hay supply. Some people got 2 cuttings. Normally in the old-fashioned way where you had a hay season, some of the fields were mowed 4 times. You know what? Not this year. It just was one of those. And then people were waiting for the cold weather to come. I'm still waiting for the cold weather to come. Okay? My tractor's in the barn with still no chains and no plow. And I'm not going to put it on until I absolutely have to. Is it going to get cold? Well, wait for tomorrow morning. There's finally a really nasty cold front coming over us. Okay. If any of this precipitation, this little drizzle and stuff hangs around long enough, it will turn to snow sometime tonight. Well, that also is going to mean that any standing puddles and damp roads and things could be a little slick in the morning. Because tomorrow's not going to get out of maybe the low 20s, and tomorrow night will probably be in the low teens. Add into that the fact that the winds are probably going to be blowing 15 to 20 miles an hour, and it's going to feel like you're going to step outside, and no matter what you have on, you're going to be freezing cold because it's going to feel like it's 6 or 7 degrees out there. That's called the wind chill factor. And you'll understand it if you don't when you step outside tomorrow and tomorrow night. Okay. Now, there's a big concern in the world right now, ocean level rise, and all the stuff people are talking about with climate change, global warming. Understand that my half a degree above normal, that's a half a degree above a 100-year average. It's not daily weather. Was it hot out in California? Absolutely. But when I was a kid, they were already talking about the Sahara Desert expanding, and it still is, and it's getting hotter and hotter. Okay, is that something we did? The real answer to that is no. We are looking at an Earth cycle. I used to have my students do an experiment to figure out when the next ice age is coming. Okay, you've got about 10,000 years. You're not going to stop it. I'm not against doing solar energy. I'm not against wind towers and things put in the right places. We'll talk about that in a future broadcast of mine. However, that's not going to solve our problem, and it creates other problems, which I'll add to it. Again, I'm trying to give you a scientific point of view of all this. However, a half a degree in 100 years, that's a nothing kind of change for the year. Okay, so are we warming? Yes. Are we going to continue to warm? Absolutely. We're 10,000 years into the 15,000 years, 15 to 18,000 years of the warming period between ice ages. Okay, so we're going to continue to warm up on this planet probably for the next 5,000 years. Whether we survive that long or not is another question. However, the planet's going to do it anyway. So the people that are complaining about ocean level rises, yes, it is. If you ask a geologist to take you to places on this planet where you can look up 100 feet and see beaches that were there in the past, you know what? That was near the end of the warming period. So are the oceans going to rise maybe up to 100 feet, maybe more, before the next ice age comes? Yes. We can stop all the carbon dioxide. We can stop the methane. it's still going to rise anyway. It always has. And there have been dozens and dozens of ice ages. We're not going to stop a world trend, okay? Can we postpone it a little bit? Maybe. Our big problem is if you don't learn from history, you don't learn. Go off the coast of India, you'll find drowned cities. Go off the coast of China, Japan, you'll find drowned cities. Go into the Black Sea and they find cities all underwater. Why? Those were the harbors and those were the things way back then. Things are rising. They're going to continue to rise. The real problem on this planet is we're in the wrong place and we haven't learned yet to fix it. Where are all our big cities? On the coastline, right next to the ocean. Where are our multi-million-dollar mansions? Right on the ocean, looking out for the great view. Or right on the river, looking over the great view. Or right on the lakes. So as ocean level rises, stream levels rise. As stream levels rise, so do the lakes. And guess what? We're in the wrong place. Now, can we fix that instantly? No. And I'm not really sure how to fix it. But right now, if you look where the Hudson River is, you can go out miles and miles and see the channel from the Hudson River when the ocean was lower. The channel goes way out into the ocean. That's where the shoreline used to be. Guess what? Yes, if you're living along the shoreline, you're in trouble. My kids used to say, Mr. Ward, Walton's such a boring place to live. I said, yeah, but it's a safe place to live. You know what? We're far away from all of that. Right in our area, there are no earthquake faults. We don't have to worry about, unless there's an incredible tsunami, any of it getting here, okay? Will we have an occasional blizzard? Absolutely. Might we get some coming up? You know, they're not horrible. You can plow and get out of the way from all of that. Still better than ice. Remember last year, we didn't have a whole lot of snow in November. Then we had a whole bunch of snow in December, which melted away. Most of our winter snow the year before was, or this past winter, not this one, we got 133.6 inches of snow. When did it fall? January, February, March, and early April. In fact, last February in 2021, we had 42 inches of snow. Normal was 18. Is it going to happen again? I don't control that. Mother Nature will either give it to us or it won't. You know what? You still might want to keep your snowmobile and your skis waxed because maybe we'll get to use them. Not right now. This is the start of 2022. And by the way, remember to date your checks and everything and get it all done because one year for 2 weeks I got it wrong, but this year I'm ready for that. And was it a strange year? Yes. Do I want it repeated? No. Farmers always say, well, maybe next year. So I'm already planning my garden, what I'm going to put and what I'm not going to put, and I'll keep my fingers crossed. And so will all the other vegetable farmers and people that mow hay. You know what? The cow pasture here, I normally mow it 4 times during the season to keep it shorter. The cows like it short. I mowed it 8 times this past year. I got tired of mowing everything. It just grew and grew and grew. That's the one thing the rain did. The grass never stopped. You know what? It's still green in certain places out there. And the cows are happy. They can run around and have exercise. That part's not bad. However, we'd like a normal year, whatever that is anymore. We'll see what a new normal spring looks like. It'll be coming along. And it's getting lighter every day, though you really can't notice it. Add about a minute a day for the next 3 weeks. And then we push it to 1 minute and 3/4, and it starts getting better after that. So, enjoy 2022. I hope you had a safe new year. And let's hope for a good one. And have a good day.
Shop Klinger Power Sports on West Street in Walton today.